Hey guys, so I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I just found out involving the Bill Cosby case, where Camille Cosby, his wife, is demanding an investigation of the judge who presided over the trial, which unfortunately caused him to be found guilty for something that I believe he didn't do. So it says that Camille Cosby demands investigation of Bill Cosby judge for unethical judicial behavior. And this article was posted yesterday by USA Today. And it reads, 1 week before her husband is scheduled to be sentenced as a convicted sexual predator, Camille Cosby appeared at a Pennsylvania Judicial Ethics Board to demand that her husband's judge be investigated for unethical conduct. Bill Cosby's wife of 54 years arrived at the state's Judicial Conduct Board's office in the state capital of Harrisburg on Monday shortly after noon, accompanied by yet another new lawyer added to the Cosby legal team. She distributed a statement in advance accusing Judge Stephen O'Neill of bias and hidden motives when he presided over 2 trials of Cosby on 3 counts of aggravated felony sexual assault. My husband was improperly prosecuted in a trial presided over by an unethical judge who seeks to compound his unethical behavior by sentencing Bill Cosby, Camille Cosby's statement said. I have requested that the Pennsylvania Judicial Conduct Board conduct a complete investigation of Judge O'Neill and to thereafter prosecute him for the Court of Judicial Discipline. She said she was filing a complaint on behalf of her husband and on behalf of all citizens who may one day find themselves in his corrupt courtroom. She told reporters, the judge must be held accountable for his unethical behavior. It is not clear whether Camille Cosby, 74, as the wife of a convicted defendant, has the legal standing to demand investigations or prosecutions of judges. A spokesman for Cosby, Andrew Wyatt, and a spokesman for Cosby's prosecutor, District Attorney Kevin Steele, did not return messages from USA Today. But Camille Cosby's request was likely to get attention in part because she has been rarely heard from since her husband was first accused, starting in October 2014, of sexually assaulting 6 women dating to the mid-1960s. Camille Cosby's rare public statements have amounted to stout defenses of her husband and blistering condemnations of Steele and the prosecution team, accuser Andrea Constant, and a long list of other accusers and their lawyers arrayed against him. Based on the newly discovered evidence uncovered by a former FBI agent, it is Judge O'Neill who must be investigated and prosecuted, Camille Cosby's statement said. Bill Cosby's first trial in June 2027 ended in a hung jury. His second in April ended with Cosby's conviction on all charges. He is due to be in court before O'Neill for 2 days next week to hear a sentence. He could receive up to 30 years in prison. Besides rendering a sentence, O'Neill also is likely to deal with another Cosby attempt to dismiss the case against him. Last week, Cosby filed a motion aimed at getting O'Neill to recuse himself, so a new judge can be appointed to reconsider one of Cosby's earliest failed attempts to get the charges dismissed. Cosby's third team of defense lawyers, led by local lawyer Joseph Green, claims to have hired a former FBI agent who allegedly uncovered new evidence that O'Neill was biased against Cosby from the beginning due to a long-standing political feud with a critical witness, former District Attorney Bruce Castor, that the judge failed to disclose after he was assigned to the case. This alleged animus between O'Neill and Castor colored O'Neill's ruling rejecting Castor's testimony about why he decided not to prosecute Cosby on the assault accusations in 2006, according to the Cosby team. Instead of recusing himself and without at the very least making the appropriate disclosure, the judge conducted a hearing on my husband's motion to dismiss the case. Camille Cosby's statement said the motion was based on Mr. Castor's binding promise not to prosecute. At the hearing, the judge took over the cross-examination of Mr. Castor from the current prosecutor and thereafter rejected Mr. Castor's sworn testimony. Camille Cosby's ire against O'Neill and Steele continues unabated. She criticized O'Neill for failing to disclose his alleged bias and for ordering Steele to respond to his motion to dismiss. Mr. Steele has now filed a response that confirms that the DA will seek to aid in a cover-up of the judge's unethical behavior. Camille Cosby's statement said, according to Mr. Steele, the judge should conduct no hearing, make no disclosure, and instead proceed to censure my husband. This is unacceptable in our American system of justice. Cosby remains free on $1 million bail, but under house arrest at his Montgomery County home, prohibited from leaving except to go to the offices of his doctors or lawyers. You know, this is an American legal tragedy, and I have to say it just like that. And if you want, you could say it's an American tragedy. This is an American icon, international icon at that. And for him to have his legacy tainted based off of a lie, based off of something that was proven back in 2006 to not be viable to be prosecuted upon, it shows you that, like I said, Mr. Cosby was lynched. He was lynched. He wasn't given a fair trial. First of all, if the former prosecutor, Bruce Cantor, didn't prosecute because he saw that there wasn't any evidence, and we went for 12 years without such, why would this man named Kevin Steele had made a commitment on his campaign that, you know, I want to prosecute Bill Cosby and send him to jail. That's how he got elected. And there has been rumors that the election was rigged, that he was put there to do that. And that this judge that they have, this O'Neill man, I mean, he was horrible. He was really, really horrible throughout the trial, Stephen O'Neill. And to me, this was vigilante justice. This was not vigilante justice. This was just a total railroading. And, you know, Me Too, from what we know publicly, it didn't kick off until 2017. But when they said that he was the first man convicted under the Me Too movement, it really, really made me angry. And it made me angry because I said, you got Harvey Weinstein out here raping chicks, but this man who allegedly drugged females, and it was proven that a lot of these females lied, that they was paid to lie to take this man down. A lot of their stories fell apart. But the reason being is because Andrea Constant, her case was about to basically go through a statute of limitations when they had to put this man, Kevin Steele, in office so that he could basically be able to prosecute Bill Cosby. That's what this was all about. Prosecuting this man so that you can take down an American icon. I said it from the beginning. And I'm not backing down from it. That's my opinion. And I'm sticking to that. And it has always made me angry, especially when you have people that you know that will tell you, well, I believe that he's guilty. I believe he did this. I believe he did that. And my whole stance has always been, prove it. Prove that Bill Cosby is guilty. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, nobody can prove it. They just say, oh, he gave Quaaludes to women. Or he gave Quaaludes to Andrea Constant. Or they'll say, so many women are coming forward. Okay. Many women can come forward. But if they can't prove that he committed the crime, then it's not prosecutable. And you can give 600 people Quaaludes. But it don't mean that you raped them or you drugged them. There's a difference between giving them somebody. Because he did admit, I gave her Quaaludes. But he didn't drug her when he gave it to her. Okay? So, what my stance on that is, I'm happy to hear that. And I'm happy to find out that she decided to press charges. And not to press charges, but to really put that motion to file. And I'm happy that the FBI agent was able to uncover that Judge Stephen O'Neill has a beef with Bruce Cantor over this whole thing with Bill Cosby, and he should have recused himself. And on that note, I'm going to say one more thing. I just like that this story broke the day that it was uncovered that Julie Chen was announcing that she was leaving the talk, because this heifer was one of the main reasons, in my opinion. She pushed the narrative that Bill Cosby was not only a rapist, but she also said that Camille Cosby should be ashamed of herself for standing by her man. But see, there's a difference Bill Cosby hasn't been convicted. He hasn't been sentenced yet. But see, you have a husband that got fired. See, Bill Cosby never got fired. But see, another thing too, I have to say, you can't even be at the station in the company that your husband once ran because he don't have any power anymore. You see, I have to say this. I feel this is poetic justice. And I am enjoying that Camille Cosby is putting the work in. Because I do believe that Camille Cosby and her husband is going to get justice, while people like Julie Chen and her husband are going to get their just due. And I had to say that. And I'm going to leave on that note. And this is your girl, Miss Anna Lyrical, signing off. Take care. Have a wonderful day. And I will be back to give my commentary about Julie Chen exiting from the talk. And yes, I had to say it. I had to plug it in while I was talking about Camille Cosby's decision to file that motion against Judge Stephen O'Neill, because the two tie in together. Thank you and have a wonderful day.